from your interactions with them, what would you say are some of the common characteristics? And we're going to go into some other characteristics and attributes, but is there anything that they all share?
Well, I would say at the top of their fields, and you see that at the top of every field, people are extremely intelligent, they're very well educated, and they're extremely industrious. But what gives them this quantum leap that puts them at the very, very top? And I have identified that part of the reason is that they're masters in building deep and resilient relationships and networks. And it's not just the individual power that they have, but the power in the aggregate that they have through their networks.
Okay, so you mentioned interpersonal skills. So, I mean, you quote it in the book. So these leaders can outsource all kinds of professional skills. They can outsource but they cannot outsource the interpersonal skills needed to build and develop resilient relationships. So is that really the X factor? Some
of the very basic things of human nature we know so well that we forget we know them. Yeah. We've kind of absorbed them with our socialization, and we just need to realize them. And the super hubs that I've observed, it may not be obvious, but they're very, very good at maintaining, nurturing relationships and building new relationships.
Okay, yeah. Do you think that this is a lost skill with the millennials coming through, very used to digital networking and LinkedIn, going on LinkedIn and building social networks, but not real personal face-to-face networking?
Yes, digital bytes can never replace personal relationships, and I explain it in more detail in the book why that is, why people can really only connect and build rapport in person and deep trust, and that's why these people who are always pressed for time invest such an inordinate amount of time and effort into building relationships. And they go, okay, granted they have private jets mostly, but they go on the plane and they, travel across time zones to connect with people and to make it a point to meet people at their home turf, to actually also show the effort to see people in their cultural habitat and not just, hold court in wherever they're based.
Yeah, it's interesting because you also, which is good news for us, because Informer and LeadersIn are global events organizer, but you say Klaus Schwab wrote an article, in 20, 30 years' time, people will not go to conferences anymore because the digital dimension will change how people interact and how conferences are done. So, but you don't agree that digital webinars and new platforms, digital platforms for connecting online are coming up all the time, but that's not the future.
Well, I find it very hard to make any predictions in view of Moore's law. Who knows where we're going to be in 30 years' time? I think that's difficult to say, but for the foreseeable future, I think, also now with the Trump phenomenon, he has called people or suggested people for his cabinet that he has known for a long time. People like to work with people who they know and trust. Yeah. It's the oldest wisdom in the world. We all know this, but you see this, people tend to forget about it, and also this becomes the central point in conspiracy theories. Why do all these people huddle together who know each other, central bankers and heads of banks and so forth? Because they know each other. They have expertise that one seeks out in the other, and they complement each other well. All of us would do that. If there were, especially in times of crises, people tend to sidestep hierarchies and established rules to work together directly. And if you have an established network like this old boy network where people know each other, it's extremely helpful and very efficient.